Good morning. Can't seem to get off the ground this morning. It was a comfortable 35 degrees when I woke up, but now, over an hour later, it's still 35 degrees, but it feels significantly colder. There's all this moisture that's moved in from across the lake. There's a view of the other side of the lake a little while ago, but now it's just a solid fog bank with the sun like glowing through it. There's my hammock right there. But my fingers are numb now. I've been up for a while. And my other motivation or demotivation is if I get to the shelter too early, I can't claim the shelter's full because I need to hang hammock all the way through the Smokies, which requires a full shelter, technically. So I've just been sitting here drinking coffee and working on some videos and eating breakfast, all that. Anyway, I'll probably be on trail within an hour. So real quick, this is what I was talking about earlier with the lacing. The normal lace would be to go from this loop to this one, crisscross there, but to give you a kind of a looser or more spacious toe box, if you skip over this crisscross and just come straight up one more, you go two more if it's really extreme, but that gives you a little more space in the toe box. I was rubbing here and here a little bit, and this loosens it up, and then you tighten it up here so that it's, firm on your foot and not moving around too much. And then also I've got the runner's lace right here, which locks in the heel. Anyway, that's what I was talking about earlier when I was describing it verbally. All right, here we are crossing the Fontana Dam. It's still pretty chilly. Not so much now that I'm out in the sun. Actually, it kind of feels comfortable, but back there in the shade, when the breeze blows. There's birds flying lower than me right now on this side. All right. Let me see. Oh, this thing is stuffed. How often do they check it? Permit box adventure was quite the undertaking. It's impossible to hold that lid open and stuff the box and hold a camera with only two hands and no B-roll camera person standing by. So I didn't film it. I also noticed that the permit I'm holding is someone else's. I think I know who it is because I recognize the name, and they're at least a day ahead of me, but I may run into them. So what I realized I should do and am doing is I found the email with the PDF. Just took a screenshot of that, so if anybody wants to check my permit, they can look on the PDF on my phone. I'm in the middle of a climb, so that's why I'm huffing and puffing. Yeah, I've been climbing for what feels like an hour and a half. I just spotted Chuck Stack Tower right up there.
Point being, it doesn't seem any closer than it did when I was standing on the dam. But it looks like I've arrived at the cliffs with the photo op. Not bad. Let me switch this around. Wow. I'm gonna whip out my Peak Finder app and see what's going on out there. I made it to Shuckstack, which is a little spur of a side trail, very steep. I left my backpack at the bottom, so don't follow my example for baiting bears. Anyway, as you can see, these are the sketchiest stairs I've ever seen. There's absolutely no way, no amount of money would have me climb these stairs. Okay, maybe some amount, but look how far it goes. It just goes and goes. Absolutely not. Never. No, not with those open railings and these God knows how old wooden planks. So when I hiked the BMT, the Benton Mackay Trail in 2013, this is where it crosses the AT and went on down that way. Yesterday, coming into Fontana, I saw some blazes and signs for the BMT because they've rerouted through this area, and that right there is no longer part of the BMT. So I was wondering to myself, how do they unblaze a section like that? But then I just now remembered that the BMT through the Smokies was not really blazed at all. It was just a sign, marked on signage at trail intersections. So you had to kind of go on faith once you're past that point of the sign that you're on the right trail. I remember thinking that in 2013, but then after the Smokies, that was no longer the case. Look at these old trees. Just walked under this tree. I would have thought that it's leaning against something, like it started to fall and now it's leaning against another tree, but it's not. It's like totally freestanding like that, unless I'm missing something. Look. It appears to be holding itself up at that angle. So I guess the roots didn't snap when it got blown over like that. And it probably just regrew at that angle. It's kind of pretty up here, considering how gray it is. All right, we are arriving. There's tents everywhere. That's a nice tree too. So I cut my hand hanging the bear bag because one of the cables was frayed and had the little tiny pointy wires. That's where it's cut right there. The rest of it's just blood from that cut. Check out my nails. Here's camp. I'm kind of over in the hammock section. I was set up on the other side of the ridge over there, but it's very windy, and that's the side where the wind's coming up, so I moved over here with all the other hammocks. There's the bear bags. You know, they have a bear locker over behind the shelter. I think the tent city behind the shelter is using that. And I'm set up over here, kind of on the edge. It drops off directly behind me.